Hi, I'm Fletch. I'm the lead game mechanics designer on Gambit, and I'm back with another episode of our Design Diary series. Now, if you've been following along, you've already seen a little bit about the inspiration that Gambit spawned from. You've seen some of the core mechanics and foundational ideas that build up the structure of Gambit. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how we translate another board game into a faction that you can play within Gambit. Now, every board game has its own personality, and for some games, they play very aggressively, very fast, very in your face. And a board game like that translates pretty easily into an aggro faction in Gambit, one that you put your pieces on the board and you charge into the fight, and you fight first, ask questions later. Other games may play a little bit more methodically and thoughtfully and defensively, and those lead to factions that can put units on the board that can help heal your pieces, your teammates' pieces, and kind of slow down the game to be more resilient on your side of the board. So we're going to look at some factions, some board games, and how they became factions for Gambit. Champions of Midgard is a worker placement game that uses a dice-driven combat system that just seemed perfect for Gambit. The theme is Vikings, and they're fighting against trolls and Draugr and other villainous monsters while trying to defend their city. So it was very easy for us to look at the characters in Champions of Midgard and see how they could translate into units. Now, because there is a limit to the number of units you can put on the board at once in Gambit, we knew we needed something you could do with those extra unit cards stuck in your hand. So we translated those into the combat dice that the game uses. And whenever you have extra unit cards in hand, you can roll your dice to see if they give your units on the board any kind of bonus. Wingspan is a strategy game that plays in a little bit more of a cozy space. In it, you're building a sanctuary where you're collecting birds that have synergistic or harmonious abilities with one another. And as such, when we built the faction in Gambit, I knew it had to be more supportive. So, in addition to you having bird units on the table that can fly in and deal with the Obsidian King's forces, you can also build nests, and those nests radiate bonuses to not just your pieces, but your teammates' pieces as well. In addition, in Wingspan, there's a mechanic where you roll dice to generate food resources. So in our game, you have food resource cards that, when there's only one of that kind of food in your hand, you can discard them to replenish your hand. So as you can see, every faction in Gambit is built with the vibe, the flavor, the mechanics of their original source board game baked right in, whether you're talking about the Vikings of Champions of Midgard or the birds of Wingspan. Thanks for joining us. If you're really enjoying this series, please follow us on Kickstarter. Join our Discord server. You'll find links on the webpage. And stay tuned for our next episode, where you'll meet our art director, AJ, and hear a little bit about what goes into bringing Gambit to life on your screen. Thanks.